Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Ray Madoran, and my wife Barb and I are master coordinators from Scottsdale, Arizona, sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. And I want to welcome all of you on the call tonight. Um, for those of you that are joining us maybe for the first time or your visitors, this is our monthly OPA call. And OPA stands for Organic Product Associates. Mary and Gary Loomis, 50 some years ago when they started it, they knew that over time that the old mentors and masters that were there, people really wouldn't maybe remember their names. So Mary wanted this to have a name, and she named it Organic Products Associates, OPA for short. So that's the name of the organization. A little bit about OPA. It's a significant organization within Shaklee. We've got 11 master coordinators, of which 2 are presidential masters. We've got approximately 300 leaders, business leaders in the organization, about 30,000 people. And we are a significant significant value for the company of about 5% we represent for Shaklee. So it's really great. Um, let's see. I guess the other thing that I wanted to say too was that this will be recorded, and it'll be on opastuff.org. opastuff.org. It's usually a couple days or 2 or 3 days after the call tonight that Scott will put on the OPA, so you can go back and listen to it, or if one of your people may have missed it or something, they can also do that as well, and they'll be able to hear it. So welcome everybody. I'm going to turn it over to Barb. She's going to introduce a good friend, one of our favorite people, and she and Barb just absolutely work so well together. So Barb, I'm going to turn it over to you and introduce this very, very special person.
Thanks. Okay, Ruth Kutz is our speaker tonight. She's a Shaklee Key Coordinator, for those of you who know what that rank means. She's a second generation Shaklee kid. Her parents, Irene and Wally, gifted her a Shaklee distributor on her 18th birthday. She was not excited, but she was driving her first Shaklee bonus car by the time she was 22, and she's been active in the business ever since. She's worked as an executive assistant, manager of a medical office, speaker, trainer for Career Track, always with Shaklee on the side. In 2001, when Career Track filed for bankruptcy, owing her thousands of dollars, she made the decision to never work for someone else again. She's been full-time income, part-time work in Shaklee ever since. Now that both her parents have passed, she continues to work the legacy her parents created. The freedom of time and money that Shaklee offers has been a godsend, as she has been able to take the time to care for elderly family through their final journeys, and any job in that kind of case would have fired her. Her story is a testament to the power of determination and resilience in the face of adversity. By embracing the opportunities that Shaklee's provided, Ruth has been able to create a life that is truly fulfilling and meaningful. And part of the way she's done that, like many of us have, is by teaching people to Shakleeize their home, to love the products that we represent. So with that, Ruth, I will let you take it away and we'll go from there.
Thanks. All right, thanks so much. And before I get to the Shakleeizing part of it, hang on one second, I want to share screen and share just so you can see who Mom and Dad were. Some of you that may have been around back in the day may remember them. And I gotta, okay. There we go. And I just have to tell you real quickly, I thought I would try to do a PowerPoint in, okay, and I know how to do this, don't I? I thought I would try to do it in Canva because everybody's been raving about Canva for PowerPoint. Well, I've created it in Canva and couldn't figure out how to make it work in Zoom. About a half hour ago, I was transferring all of my slides into here. So we'll see how well this actually turned out. But that's my mom and dad, Irene and Wally, up in the left-hand corner, right around the time that we were introduced to Shaklee. And for those of you that haven't heard me speak before, it was Christmas time, a couple of weeks before Christmas, and mom was sitting in church complaining to our pastor's wife about all of us kids being sick. There were the four of us. I am the oldest, dressed in purple down there. And that was I call her the oops baby. Mom called her a blessing. So did dad. And she was our little athlete in the family because the rest of us weren't. But pastor, and mind you, it wasn't during church service that she was complaining. It was practice for the Christmas recital. And pastor's wife said, well, have you ever tried food supplements? And, this was 1972. And my mom said, food who? And pastor's wife said, well, it's kind of like vitamins, but it's different because it's the whole food. And mom figured if you can't trust a pastor's wife, who also happened to be a registered nurse, who could you trust? Now, backing up a second, dad always told mom, never get involved in one of those companies because he had a cousin who kept getting involved and had a garage full of products from a variety of other companies. But again, dad said, well, if it's pastor's wife, we'll at least give it a try. So on Christmas Eve of 1972, pastor's wife delivered an 18-ounce can of the energizing soy protein. Some of you that were around back then may remember it. And I think it was only a 30-day serving of Vital E, because back in the day, you had to take 4 Vital E a day because they couldn't get all the good nutrition into 2 tablets. And as mom would tell the story, she'd be like, who with 4 kids in the family have any money in the house? So she borrowed money from grandma. And now, mind you, this is a 30-day supply. This is Christmas Eve. And she started to take it because she wasn't going to give it to us kids at first, because heaven forbid these products do anything to hurt us kids. And she ran out of one of them in March. Okay. But she felt a difference. Her body was so starved for nutrition, just that little bit of Vital E and protein made a difference for her. So she called to reorder. And of course, being good uplines, they said, oh, well, we can't just do that over the phone. We need to come and talk to you. So here comes pastor's wife with her upline, and they bring a box of products. And thankfully, it's not as many products as we have today, because I don't know how long we'd be sitting there. But I sat on the couch next to mom for the entire 2 hours that they were there talking, as they pulled out every product, talking about chewable vitamin C and alfalfa, and how this product can do this and that product can do that. And mom told the story that, she couldn't sleep that night because she thought of all the people she knew who had health problems that could be addressed by each of these products that they kept pulling out and saying, this is for arthritis, this is for allergies. Of course, that would be both alfalfa. Oops. And, but of course, she learned, and if you decide to join anybody in the business, you will learn that as excited as you get, sometimes the other people aren't as excited. And it wasn't quite as easy as mom expected it to be, but to be honest, that's us with the blue car in the background at the top. That was 2 years later in 1974, where mom and dad are driving their first bonus car. It was the first of 12 bonus cars that Shaklee supplied them with. And I just have to do a quick aside because some of you know my aunt just passed away. She was my mom's mom. And she made all of these dresses you're seeing in here, these purple dresses and the red and white ones. I just had to add that in there. So driving a Shaklee bonus car within 2 years, and they qualified to go on trips. We've literally been able to travel the world with Shaklee. And I had to throw that picture up on the bottom because we have it so easy now where we don't have to keep inventory. But back in the day, that's my dad with one of my nephews bringing the packages in, because we were lucky enough to live just a few miles from the Shaklee Field Service Center, or Customer Service Center, whatever they changed names sometimes. It was the FSC and the CSC. And dad would go pick up our orders. He'd put an order in the morning, pick it up at noon, and we'd have it. So, but it was a lot of work having that inventory. So thankfully, we don't need that anymore. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. This picture on the left was taken in Montreal in 1984. They were recognized as coordinators at that point because, as Barb said, for my 18th birthday, which would have been 1978, I was given that Shackley distributorship, which I had no interest in until I discovered I needed a car and saw that mom and dad had all those cars and hey, I could do this too. And I was the one that caught the business opportunity because in full honesty, no one ever told mom and that there was a business. She just was buying products and selling them to people. And before she knew it, she had two other people, two other really good friends of hers who had such good results with the products that did the same thing. And I was like, wait a minute, I think we need to make a business out of this. And so as a result of that, fast forward, the picture on the bottom here was 1994 when after I partnered with mom and dad, we became key coordinators. And for those of you that have ever heard Queso speak, and if you were in Chicago with us a couple of weeks ago, Queso said, so many of you here in the US reach a rank and you sit on it. Well, I am very proud to say that it's the 30th anniversary of us becoming key coordinators. And I'm tired of sitting on this rank. Now, there was a time we did get up to senior key shortly, but that was short-lived, and we've been sitting here at key for a very long time, and that's time to change. So I have set a goal to be senior key by September of this year, and well, we're gonna see what kind of magic I can have happen. But the picture of mom and dad in the middle was taken at the 50th anniversary in 2006 when we were all in San Francisco. And it was such a wonderful time. I got to dance with him that night with Earth, Wind and Fire, for those of you that were there. And we did the ballpark, and it was just really a great celebration. But unfortunately, we came home on Sunday night, and dad died suddenly on Monday. And what a blessing for him that it was as sudden as it was, because since then I've literally had to walk with several family members through 4-year journeys through cancer, 6-month journeys through cancer, and going fast is really the best way to go if it's you, I just have to say. So when dad died suddenly at that particular point, I had a business underneath them, because the beautiful thing about Shackley is you can rearrange how things are done. At that particular time, the business plan was more beneficial for me to be out on my own. So I actually had 5 bonus cars on my own. And then when dad passed away, dad did all the bookkeeping and stuff. And I was like, well, mom wasn't any good at that. I'd rather do books for one business than 2. So we partnered together. And we were a great team. She did all the hand holding and being nice to people. I mean, not that I can't be nice to people, but she was more nice than me. And unfortunately, again, fast forward to March of 2020, when she started to not feel good and the world shut down and we weren't able to get her in to see a doctor until July. And in July, we found out she had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. That, well, it's not a good thing to get stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And she passed away pretty quickly in November of that year of 20. So we're coming up on 4 years she's been gone, and I still find it really hard to believe. But we're keeping on and keeping her dream alive, because she always wanted to be a master coordinator too. And even though I jokingly say when Ray asks me when do I want to be a master coordinator, I don't really want to be, but I do. I really do. So that's next on the docket. But let's just talk a little bit about some of the benefits of building a Shackley business. I mean, there's the obvious things, such as earning income, qualifying for cars, qualifying for free trips, because heaven knows I've been able to travel the world with Shackley. Been to Hong Kong, been to Madrid, all the islands, Hawaii, I think 5 times. And I think the 4th time I was there, they said, only really rich people come to Hawaii this often. And it's like, yeah, well, we may not be really rich, although that's kind of the joke, because at the bottom of our bonus check, it tells us how many millions we've earned since the year 2000. And we're almost to 3 million. And mom and I would always joke, we wonder where it all went because, well, we've had a great life. We really, really have. So, but let's also talk about the friendships that you get. And one of them is up here, Ashley Sherapan. Okay, she's not Ashley DeAngelis. I still call her Ashley Sherapan. Ashley and my sister Jan, that baby, Whoops baby, who got to go on all the Shackley trips with mom and dad, got to know Ashley through the kids program back in the day. And then in turn, I got to become friends with Ashley. And this was in Maui a couple of years ago at the Shackley Cut trip, as was this one here with the outrigger. And I think you will see Mr. Sherapan in here somewhere. We just had a really, really great time. But the friendships that you make in Shackley with people that I would have never known, the Medorans or the Sherapans, if it wasn't for Shackley and all the trips that we've been on and the experiences that we've had, and we're all like-minded. And down here in the corner was the last trip for us in 2019, which was the last trip to Vegas before the world shut down. And that was mom's last trip as well, and some of our team that were with us. So this business, having grown up in it, so I've literally been around it since I was 12 years old, have been pretty active on the business side since I was 20, and I'm going to be 64 this year. And sometimes I wonder, how can I still get excited about what this company has to offer? And I think so much of it has to do with the Shackley difference. For those of you that listened to Mission Possible this morning with the science team takeover, that was so wonderful to hear all of those things and be reminded of some of them. And that recording will be available on Shackley.tv probably today or tomorrow, if it's not up already. And do you guys know the trick at Shackley TV to find the quickest or the most recent videos? On the left side, about 3/4 of the way down, there is a most recent videos link. So if it's happened in the recent past and you click on that, it's going to pop up and you'll see it right there. So just a little trick on that. And Shackley TV, I'm going to talk a little bit more about in a second. Okay, so how to Shackleyize your customers. And let me preface this with last month, or yes, this is April. So in March, I did 15,000 personal group volume. And in the month before, in February, I did 18,000. So I'd like to say that I kind of have figured out between mom and I ways to Shackleyize our customers. And is everybody completely Shackleyized? No, of course. I still have those customers who only like to buy Herblax or only like to buy Basic H, and they both clean you up in different ways. So it's, they have their favorite products, but there are things that we can do with our customers to get them to commit to doing more things. And some of this is going to be review for you guys. I didn't create anything brand new here, but maybe there's going to be 1 or 2 tips in here for you. There's several versions of this "which products do you use" sheet that's out there. This happens to be the one from Networking Tool Chest. And I just love it because it's, are you taking vitamins? Are you using, doing laundry? What products are you using? And it gives you the Shackley alternative. I use this handout at every event that I do because I want people to realize I'm not asking them to buy something that they're not already buying. And it's a better quality product. And in addition to being a better quality product, it does come with a 100% money back guarantee. And not every product out, even an empty bottle guarantee. Try the whole thing. You don't like it, you get your money back. I've been using this to existing customers recently because some of them have been around for 30, 40, 50 years even. We still have a few customers that started with my mom in 1973 that still buy products every month. Okay. People don't continue to use products for 50 years if they're not building a business with it, if the products don't work. Okay. For people that are wanting to take a look at the business, I always point out, this is sort of like owning your own store or your own gas station, for instance. If you own the Shell station and you're running out of gas and you're driving by the BP, which is just a half mile away, are you going to stop at the BP or are you going to go to your own gas station? So reminding people about that, and with the loyalty program, that really makes a lot of sense too, even if you're not building a business. And I use it with my new member appointments, and I've been very successful in the last few months with doing member update appointments, reaching out to those people that maybe came in sometime when I wasn't super active and they didn't get a new member orientation, but call them up and say, hey, I'm doing member update appointments. So much is new at Shackley. And oh my gosh, how many new products have we gotten in this last year and that are on the horizon coming up? So there's really great reason to offer them member update appointments. And I might offer them free shipping if they're an ambassador. It varies, free bottle of vitamin D, depending on who they are and how much of a good customer, you can totally variate. Oh, is that a new word? Well, decide what you want to do for that particular person. And sometimes it's even, hey, you know what? Meet with me. I'll give you some samples and I'll give you 10% off on your next order. And 10% off isn't simple to do with the website. So I'll often just Venmo or Zelle them the money if you guys have ability to do that, or write them a check back, because who doesn't like 10% off? All right, educating our customers is key. And we have several ways to do that. If you've listened to any of the Solid Start trainings that MC Mentors has put on over the last few months, Joyce Hoffman, how amazing is she? She just is so terrific. And she has her whole new member process that we've got all of the forms for and the links that she recommends to use to Shackley TV. But I don't know how many of you are familiar with betterhealthin31days.com, or maybe you knew about it in the past and haven't looked at it recently. That's a subscription website that you can sign up for. I'm not sure exactly what the cost is right now. I think it might be $16.99 or $17.99 a month. I should have looked that up, but they're doing a lot of new recordings on there. There's probably close to 20 that have been done over the last few months, and they're keeping them to 30 minutes. And there's segments in there on pre-pregnancy, prenatal, pregnancy, postnatal. There's stuff in there on fertility. There's all sorts of things on digestive health and women's health. So a lot of new videos have been in there. And if you've been around Shackley as long as I have, you probably remember the 21 tape program, which was a lot of work, but was very valuable, because when people listen to these recordings and they hear the stories of how the products have helped people, and in every one of these recordings that they've recently done, they also have a lot of testimonies incorporated in there. And, there's real value in those testimonies. So we offer this for people to get, listen to 3 of them. For every 3 that they listen to and write down 3 things that they learned from each of those, I will put them down for $20 of free product. And I do the free product at the retail price. And so they can listen to up to 21 of them. So at 7 times 20, that's $140 worth of product at retail price is what I do. Because not everybody wants to listen to 21. Some of them only want to listen to 3 or 6, but they're getting some free product back with that. And Shackley.tv, I told you the trick on finding the most recent videos that are there. But there are so many powerful things in there, especially in the Shackley Difference folder. Okay, and actually in Better Health in 31 Days, there's a couple of recordings by the professor at Ole Miss, who's a professor of pharmacology, that are really, really powerful about the Shackley Difference. Because I think that's one of the things we do have to educate everyone about, is why Shackley is different. And this morning's recording that Les Wong did, I did put a bug into Kathy Keating's ear and say, could we just have that, 15, 20 minutes that he did? Because it's so succinct and so powerful and spot on. So explaining to them the Shackley Difference and helping them to understand that is key. And then explaining to them the benefits of loyalty rewards. Okay. This is such a powerful piece. I've got a couple of customers who they do their loyalty rewards every month, and then about every 4th month, they get a free bottle of Ivix. And they are just beside themselves with joy because they're getting a free bottle of a free product that costs almost $100. So how do we explain the benefits of loyalty orders? There are 2 videos. Well, there's 3 videos. There's a video for members in the loyalty orders, and there's a video for ambassadors. But both of them are only good for a short, up until they get to the redemption part. And because the redemption totally changed. And in case you didn't know that, that could be why you think you're redeeming a product and you actually get 2, because you put one in your cart and you did give me a free one. And I've sent the new video, updated video for redemption to several people, but they're still doing it wrong. So again, it's something we need to keep on, look at your order confirmation, see that it's a great reason to reach out to people, and also to reach out to people that don't know that they have these loyalty points. Because if you've been around as long as we have many people that are ambassadors that have no interest in building a Shaklee business, but there was a time in Shaklee you had to come in as an ambassador. That was your only choice. So that being said, those people get loyalty points for every order for the shipping that they place on their orders. Now, members don't get that shipping put into their loyalty account, but all ambassadors do. So I make sure that I go in and look every once in a while to see who's got some points accumulated that could be getting some free product. And that's pretty easy to do in the report section. So there's also documents in Shaklee tools that you can use to help to educate them. That's all very powerful. And then of course, doing things in person or via Zoom. And before I get into this particular list, I just want to mention networking to find new customers and to keep those new customers happening. I was blessed to join our local chamber 4 years ago now. And 20, let me see, I was chamber member of the year in 21. I had to look and see. So it's only been 3 years, but I have gotten some tremendous customers out of the chamber. I'm now a director, and we had a women in business meeting this morning that I would just pat myself on the back for a second. Everybody was complimenting me on my leadership skills. And I was like, I learned all these things in Shaklee because it's the best leadership business out there. But so networking is a great way to meet new people so that you've got customers coming in on a regular basis. But then doing those member orientations and the member update appointments, we've been doing a lot of grand openings. I've had people coming in now, actually not coming in. I have 3 builders right now that I'm working with that sponsored in, one in 87, one in 2000, and one in 2002. Okay. They've been really good customers all of these years. And they've always said, maybe someday I might want to do something. And now's the time that they want to do something. So we've got a grand opening scheduled for, I've got a lot of grand openings scheduled this month. I'm not sure exactly how many right now. I think there's at least 6. And those are powerful, again, for the recruiting part of it for the customers, but also to reinforce the Shaklee difference for everybody that's in attendance, including that new builder. I love doing my spa days. Okay. Part of my member orientation includes the fact that, hey, as a new member, you are eligible for a free facial, and I can do it just with you, or we can bring some friends together and maybe you'll get some free products too. And those are especially effective in the month that there's 20% off that they offer us. But do you guys remember cleaning buckets and personal care baskets? We used to do those all the time, and we stopped doing things that work sometimes. And now it's not always easy because that is something you've got to be local. And I know many of us have businesses that spread across the country now. But if you've got some local people, it's one of the things I'm doing right now with some of the people in my networking group. Because I do see them a couple times a month. So I'll bring a basket, the personal care basket with I don't give them I shouldn't say I don't. I put the body wash, body lotion, and then I have a couple of jars of the body scrub. And so I just give them a little bit in the bottom of the jar with the body scrub. You can reuse that, or those beautiful jars that we do have that we use up so well from our youth products. I'll use those sometimes as well. Throw some in there and just mark it as body scrub with instructions on how to do that, along with the shampoo and conditioner. Now we don't have the hairspray anymore, but I've gotten so many customers that switch over. They try it for the week or so that between visits that I'm going to see them, and they absolutely love the products. And of course, cleaning buckets, there's a bunch of stuff out there on that. So, but if you need more information about either of those, you can let me know and I can supply that to Barb and she can pass it on. And follow-up. This is probably one of my weakest points, which is why I put it on here, because Mom was great at follow-up, me not so much. And I have a little sign on my goal board over here that says I am the queen of follow-up, because if you and I had a little crown on, it's not actually a picture of me, but there's a little crown. So whatever we have to do to, get ourselves to that point where we're really doing it. But sending out newsletters is so important. And I'm sure you guys all know about Lori Kruscher's emails or newsletter that she does on naturalhealthleader.com that she does for us for free. And if you use it, I suggest if you've got a great testimony, send it to her so that she can incorporate it in the newsletter. So, she needs stories all the time. And, but thank you text is something that I've done. Somebody was creating, can't remember who it was exactly, but a little Canva pictures that you could just text to somebody, thank you for your loyalty to Shaklee. Or so I've got a whole bunch of them that I have in a folder on my phone. And as the orders come in, once every quarter, somebody gets a text from me saying, thank you for your order. Then the next month when they order, I will send out an email with the newsletter attached to it, thanking them. And then the third month, I always I make a phone call and leave a message, because most of the time you don't get them. And it's just a simple, hey, really appreciate you. Thank you. Hope all is well. If there's anything I can do, give me a shot. Something as simple as that. And it's just those touches that people get. And two, if I do happen to get them on the phone, then it's like, hey, how about if you host an event? You'll get some free products for doing it. And again, that helps to perpetuate the new members coming in. So it's nothing new. It's not rocket science. It's a lot of, as Gary Burke said, the boring, doing the same things over and over again. But I think too, right now, with the changes that we're seeing coming in the business plan or comp plan, okay, the Shaklee comp plan, there's going to be, I think we're in for an exciting ride. Is it going to be a little bumpy? Maybe a little bit, but the number of people that I've shared the business plan with too, and I've been sharing the new plan with, I think, 5 people in the last week. And 2 of them are my niece. One's my niece and one's my nephew, who are always like, no, no, no. They're in their, one's just turning 30 and one's 33. They're both really excited about what they see in the plan. So I think we could be in for kind of a fun ride. So if you were on the call this morning, remember this book? How many of you guys have one on your shelf, or more than one? And when was the last time you pulled it off and used it? Okay, this is powerful. We need to really remind people and remind ourselves about our history and what Shaklee has accomplished and what they've done with these products. And I was so excited to have Les Wong on the call this morning. It was just so good to see him. And this is one of his slides that I grabbed. And I'm just going to say, every single Shaklee product is backed by this 100% money back guarantee. And our products work if you use them. And that's what I keep reinforcing to people. I think sometimes we forget about telling people about the guarantee. And that's a really great way for them to have the confidence that they can try, attempt to do the Shakleeization of their home. And if they're not happy with it, they can get their money back. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. So that's all I've got for today, but I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'm honored to have been requested or asked to be here. And I apologize that my head was halfway in the box. I'm having problems with my cameras here, but thank you.
Thank you, Ruth.
That was great, Ruth.
Does anyone have any questions just off the top of your head?
Barb just took a page of notes. And if I was taking the notes, which I wasn't, it would have been 5 pages, but she writes so small, but she's got a whole page of notes and stuff. So hope you all took some good notes, and there was a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody have anything they'd like to ask or comment on? Okay, well, while you're thinking just a little bit, one of the things she mentioned was that people have been ordering from her since her mom and dad got started, essentially. And we have in our group a 94-year-old lady. She lives in St. Louis. I met her almost 50 years ago in my aunt's living room. And a tiny little lady, twinkle in her eye, lots of fun to be around. And she still orders. And she used to order about 3 times a year. Now she's ordering 5 or 6 times a year at least. And these products are for herself. And when I'll call her to check in on her, like last fall, I had called her and she hadn't picked up the phone. So I just left her a message and said I'd call back. And then when I called back again later, she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry I missed it." She says, "I was out raking leaves." She lives by herself. And she says, "They're not even my leaves. They belong to my neighbor's tree, but I have to rake them." And she is so much fun to be around. Her brain just works beautifully. And she is using Shaklee products all these years. And I have to believe, some of it may be genetic. I have no clue. But she has been faithful to the supplements and other things too, but primarily the supplements for all that time. And she orders, like her last order last month was like 170 some PV. A month or two before, it was over 200. So, I mean, she's using a lot of stuff herself. And it's just so exciting. Like Ruth said, if these products weren't any good, people wouldn't order for that amount of time. And we've got other people too, but she's my prime example just because I know her age, because she was the same age as my aunt. But fun things to see and fun things to do. And I don't know if Darlene's on the call tonight. I can't see all the people, but oh yeah, there she is right there. Darlene, tell them about your picture with the oven, the before and after, because when we're educating people about how to use this stuff, if we can have pictures or show them somehow, wow, what a difference. Darlene, can you unmute for a second?
Sure. Thank you, Barb.
Sure.
Well, many years ago, we have this member who wanted to purchase some non-toxic cleaning products. But before she purchased, I offered to clean her oven for free. And she was so adamant at bringing me into her house because her oven has not been used for at least a year, because at one point she cooked something in it and it got so dirty, and she used an oven cleaner and the fumes came out of it, and she was scared of using her oven again. So I said, "Hey, it's gonna be fun, So I dragged 2 other Shaklee members. We went to her house and we used 2 things: the scour off and the degreaser. And my goodness, we helped her scrub it off within like half an hour. This oven looked like brand new, So, and we took pictures of it. And until now, I think that picture has been going around in the Shaklee family for many years. So it's amazing. Everything's fun, and you're getting to know each other. You're helping each other, and you're bringing in another new customer with another healthy home who doesn't have to use any toxic products.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Darlene.
Barb, let me add too, my
Sure.
aunt that just recently passed away, she was 98 years old.
Mhm.
And up until her 97th birthday, if you dropped something on the floor and you were with her, she bent over and picked it up way faster than you could. And she was just so agile. I mean, one of the doctor appointments, she's showing the doctor how high she could kick her leg. It was, just really crazy. But that last year was a little bit rough. And so we had some, not caregivers, but, nurses would come in to help, or therapists or whatever. I have 4 new Shaklee members out of all of those people, because they all say, "I want to be like Wanda when I get that old." And she was so funny, because I was trying to help her cut back on some of her supplements, because, it was the end of times. And I was like, "Okay, well, let's cut you back to only 1 Carotamax." "No, if I don't take 3, I get floaters in my eyes." And so she took a lot of supplements, let me tell you, because they worked and they made it. Come on, taking 3 floaters or 3 Carotamax versus 1 makes a difference with floaters in your eyes. You only know that if you take the products. So they work.
Oh,
great.
that's
Ruth, I
great.
just want to comment and just say how delightful it was to listen to you bringing back so many memories of things that we all did that worked and stopped doing.
Yeah,
And you gave a great presentation, good reminders of
you.
what to do and how to make some real good new growth. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, examples? Okay, well, I've got another one. Dean Walters, who may or may not be on here tonight. I don't see his name, but I haven't looked at the second page. I got a text from him this afternoon, and he said, I had a preventative visit with a vascular surgeon this morning. He looked at my records and asked how I got off the prednisone, and he was on prednisone for 30 years for a variety of things that had happened to him. I talked about Vivix, and he said he wanted plenty of information about it. His receptionist was having sleep issues and menopause issues, so she wanted it too. I did end up sending them some links to my storefront, but only after explaining how I prefer speaking with them ahead of time to learn about what their needs are. Hoping to set up appointments with them, but doctors are a bit stingy with their time. So, whether or not he'll get those appointments, I don't know. But if we listen for the needs that
Right.
people have and
Right.
educate them about what we have to offer, all those things start to fall into place. And Ruth, I remember the first meeting that I went to was in the friends who sponsored me in her house. And they had all those products out, and we tried everything, and we, looked at everything and heard about everything. And I thought, oh my gosh. But as a result, I wanted everything.
Mhm.
And we couldn't do that in the beginning, but little by little, we turned our home onto Shaklee. And there are very few things that we don't use for whatever reasons. And it's just absolutely amazing what happens. And I think now, one of the comments in Chicago, Ruth mentioned Chicago in Dr. Queso's meeting. One of the comments, we had a couple there from the Orlando area who are brand new. Well, they've been in Shaklee for 2 years, but brand new as far as wanting to do something with it, perhaps moving forward career-wise. And one of the comments he kept making, and he's in his middle 60s now, does not look it. His wife is a little bit younger, but he looked around at those 100 and close to 50 people, and he said, I can't believe how young these people look compared to, I know what some of their ages are, and they look so young. And the thing is, it's not that just people look younger, they feel younger,
They
they
act
act
younger.
younger, they think younger. And it's just, how often have you heard people say, getting older is HE double toothpicks. And that's just how they feel about it. And by golly, if that's the way you think about it, that's the way it's going to be.
Mhm.
There are so many things that we can do preventatively, and we've got such a gift to give people. So I encourage you to do that. Anybody else come up with anything else? Or Ruth, is there anything?
Actually,
else you
Barb,
wanna
let me
say?
add something too, because as I'm sitting
Sure.
here thinking, something we've done every year, well, almost every year for decades, we do a customer appreciation event. So, and that again works if you've got local people.
Mhm.
And I would set up stations with all of the different products. We would have a shake station where they could try all the shakes. And now, what we do with all of the different sticks now, the teeth sticks and things, is have you guys? I can't take credit for this. Pam Carey and Moira Gorski did it. But when you're having an in-home event, get a bunch of water bottles, the like 10-ounce ones that you can get at Aldi. You don't want the full 16-ounce ones, but the 10-ounce ones, because these are for, usually 6 to 8 to 10 ounces of water. Throw them in there and paste, tape one of whatever it is onto the front of it, and then have the little tasting glasses so everybody can serve themselves to try the different flavors. I don't know if anybody has seen that before,
Mm.
but that was really, it works beautifully. And then everybody can taste everything. And then I had samples for them to take behind it if it was something that they liked. And have you tried the new Vitalized Immunity? No, not Vitalized Immunity. Oh, don't we miss that product? What just came out with the raspberry lemonade?
The Vitalized.
Essential Multi-V.
Yes, yes.
Did you try it yet? I got mine
No.
today. It's actually pretty good. I'm sorry, I didn't like the first one.
Probably why they changed the flavor.
Yeah, I've got one that's real quick, but 2 weeks ago today, I had double hernia surgery. They said it was going to be an hour and a half surgery. It was 38 minutes. And I was in recovery for half an hour and Barb came and picked me up. So that was on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, I woke up and I told Barb, I'm going to Bible class. It's 6:30 in the morning. There's a bunch of guys that we have Bible class. And I told her, I said, it's like it never happened. I have no pain. I can't feel it at all. And I know it's because, of the supplements and that, what I take that is keeping me in good health. You recover so much faster when your body is fed properly. And I think that's what happened with me as well, because my brother-in-law and our pastor, they had it a few months ago, and they were walking funny for about 3 weeks and in pain. And within 4 days, it was like it never even happened for me. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate Shaklee Nutrition. So.
Anybody else? Okay, well, thanks so much, Ruth. I
Yeah.
so appreciate. And would you be willing to send your slides to Scott too, so he can
Oh, sure.
put them up with your
that.
presentation,
Yeah.
and that way they can hear you and they can see what you're talking about too at the same
Yeah.
time. And I mean, it's ideas like this that might, one idea that you catch from Ruth on this program could make a whole different change in your business. If it's something that works with what you're doing now or could move you to a different level, it's just absolutely amazing. And when you can run the kinds of volume that she does too. And just before we go to, tell them how you got in February to the volume you did, because that was when Youth was on sale for 20% off.
It was, and I ran a couple of spa days where I literally had appointments that I booked for a day, and I did it on 3 different days. And I had some that nobody showed up for, but then I would have some where 2 people showed up or 6 people showed up, and we just did facials. And I only did half face facials, and in one of them was really funny because they were 3 like long distance cousins that I had just met out at dinner the week before, really didn't have much of a relationship with them. I said, listen, why don't you guys come over? I don't want you to buy anything. Just come. We'll drink some wine. We'll have some facial, have some Polish food from the deli around the corner. 600 PV that night. So tell people not to buy anything and great things happen.
Reverse psychology.
There you go.
Okay, remember opastuff.org, O-R-G. Couple about 2 or 3 days, it'll be on that site, and you can hear Ruth again.
All right. Yeah, Lou, go
Lou?
ahead.
Yeah, Lou.
Hi, first of all, Ruth, thank you very much. That was excellent. I have a question. You said your niece and nephew were interested in the new compensation plan. Can you tell me what struck them that caught their eye?
Simple. Oh, I sell products and I get paid 30% on new people. That was in not having to explain what PV was or anything at that point, because I've tried before and I got the door shut on me. They're like, yeah, no, not interested in Auntie Ruth. But when I said, just please take a look at this. And they were both very interested. So where it's going to go, I don't know, because they're nieces and nephews. And I don't know about y'all, but sometimes family are the toughest nuts to crack. The one niece uses the products faithfully. I'll give her that. The nephew, but he's a boy, and you guys all know how boys are. So,
Huh?
yeah.
Thank you, Ruth. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, well, thanks for being here. We'll see you next month. New speaker, new topic, and enjoy your time at home. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you,
Ruth.
Ruth.
It was excellent.